So, in Chapter 6, Section 4, we're asked to find the variance of each of the 9 samples. And so then we'll find out the probability. So what they've listed are all the different possible outcomes of picking a sample size of 2. So we're going to take these over to StatCrunch. And I want to find the variance of the 2 samples. So if you look at the first two, 1 and 1, the amount of variation they have is 0. Same thing with 4 and 4, and then 10 and 10. So let's just compute the variances real quick. We're going to be doing rows instead of columns. And we want to look at x1 and x2, and again all we're looking for is the variance, so let's do that. So the first one has a variance of 0 like we thought, it's 1 and 1. Then that one is 4.5, then 40.5, then 4.5, then 0, then 18. So these should be the values that tell us what our variance are. So looking at the homework, not too many numbers here that we have to look at. We have a variance of 0. We have 4.5. We had an 18 from smallest to largest. Then we had a 40.5. Now the probability says an integer or a fraction. So how many zeros did we have? 1, 2, 3. So that was 3 out of the 9. So a third. 4.5 looks like we had 2 out of the 9. And then 18s was 2 out of the 9. And then we had 2 40.5s out of 9. So the probability of each one of those variances, except for the 0 was 3 out of 9, so 1/3. And all the other ones were 2/9. So here's all the possible variances, and here's the probability when selecting 2. So now compute the population variance to the mean of the sample variances. So to find So here are all our values. If I just wanted to find out what their variance is, I could just do a column. I'm looking at x1. I just want to find the variance of the whole population. And we'd find that it's 15.75. Well, if I took the average of the variances, or found the mean of the variance, let's see if I also get this 15.75. So, to the mean of the sample variances. If we go and we take this row and we find the mean of all these values, there's one thing that we could do. So let's just do that with a calculator. So we had 3 zeros. I'll put 1. We had 2 4.5s. We had 2 18s. And then we had 2 40.5s. And let's divide that by the number that we had, which I believe was 9. And we get 14.75. Let's just look at our values. 0, 4.5, 18, and 40.5. And divide that by the 4 different groups. So that's where we get the 15.75. So if we just take the mean of the different possible outcomes, which was the 0, the 4.5, the 18 and then the 40.5, we get that same 15.75. So that's what we'll need to do. Just add up the 4 possible things and divide it by 4. And we should get the answer that the population variance is equal to the mean of the sample variances. And then lastly, do the sample variances target the value of the population variance? So we had sample variances of 0 or all the way up to 40.5. Is that a good estimator of the population variance? So in the text, read, and this one should just pop out for you.